Welcome to episode 2 of the Georgian Surrogacy Podcast. My name is Liz Tripodi and I'm joined by Anita Fiorenza.
Hi everyone.
Today we're going to be talking about a few things when it comes to surrogacy in Georgia. The different types of programs and what to look for when you're picking an agency or a clinic, and how to get started, how do they find a surrogate, the risks of surrogacy, things that can happen. Anita and I are from Melbourne, Australia, and this surrogacy podcast is going right around the world. So some of the information that we'll be sharing will be Australian-based, but it will be useful for those of you that are in other countries. So as we've talked about in episode 1, we both talked a little bit about our journeys to what led us to international surrogacy. So whatever your journey is that has taken you to look into research to do surrogacy in Tbilisi, Georgia, whether it might be that you're a cancer survivor like Anita, or perhaps, an embryo won't attach like in my case, or you've tried every other fertility program possible, or you have genes that don't allow you to carry, just know that there is a solution out there for you. And it is difficult. It's not something that is for everybody, and there's a lot that you have to navigate. So hopefully with our help and with our advice, you might, be able to put your mind to rest a little bit about some of the questions and some of the feelings that you had about international surrogacy, because we've been in your shoes and we know exactly what it feels like.
Exactly.
So different type of programs are available in Tbilisi. You can deal with some of the clinics directly. Some of them, depending on what country you come from, you might have to go through a third-party agency. Both Anita and myself both chose to go directly to the clinic that we both dealt with. Its name is Chichava, and they're the oldest maternity hospital in Georgia, over 100 years old, and they have a surrogacy unit as part of their hospital. They also have lots of other things there too. They've got a dentist, they've got cosmetic procedures, they've got lots and lots of different things.
I would have liked to get some cosmetic work while I was there if I could have.
But their facilities are absolutely fantastic, and if you're lucky enough to go and do a tour there, or even if you're not there until the birth, it is an amazing place. So there are different programs available with different agencies, and they're all going to be of various costs, again, depending on what country you come from and what additional things that you have to add on top. Obviously, for us here in Australia, one of the most expensive things is obviously flights. And also our exit procedure is a lot longer than some of the other countries as well, due to Australian government procedures to leave the country. So we're probably, as Aussies, and especially with our exchange rate, at a disadvantage, but that's not to say that it's not possible. So different programs that you're eligible or that you can pick. To start with, one of the most important things to know is that it's always great to have some reports and blood tests from fertility specialists or your GP, so that the doctors over there can see, medically what the issue is, or, they might be able to do other procedures over there to assist, whether you're going using your own eggs or whether you're choosing to do donor. So the different packages reflect this. So there are packages that include using your own eggs and your own sperm. There are packages including donor sperm and donor eggs. There's packages that are donor eggs and your own sperm. And all of these are available in, singular, multiple times. And of course, you've got your guaranteed package. And the guaranteed package is basically what it says. And Anita, you want to expand a little bit more on the guaranteed package?
Yes. So I think what I just want to say is you can't just pick the guaranteed package. You
Correct.
need to qualify for it. From their end, they will assess you, make sure that the sperm is of high quality, make sure that you fit. You've got a medical reason
Yes.
for it. All the pathology has to be done, and even if you send over the tests from your fertility clinic, you have a referral and you tick all the boxes, then they will do their own tests as well. Once you send over, even if you're not travelling over there, they will then test, for example, the sperm again before they really allow you to sign the contracts or proceed with it. They do have a refund policy on their contracts as well. So I'm pretty sure that they won't go ahead with any contract without doing their own tests.
Because, of course, it is in their best interest that with a guarantee package,
Yeah.
that they are able to do it as quickly as possible, because, if they can get you a baby,
Yes.
a successful live birth,
Yes.
that is at less cost to them.
Yeah. With the guaranteed packages, they do prefer to use their own donors on their own databases. So if you are using a third-party donor company on top of what they have to offer, they will require the donor testing as well.
And I think that's an interesting point, because I know that with a lot of, for example, we've both looked at the donor databases in the past, and I know we both get a lot of questions from people that might be of Asian heritage or Caucasian, that might have blonde hair, or, different characteristics. And you might, if you are looking at donor, then yes, you might want to organise with them to use a different donor database from one of the other European countries. Otherwise, I have seen in the past that their donor list is growing more and more.
It's fluctuating.
Yeah, there is a shortage at the moment. I mean, we're in, 2022 at the moment. And that's because obviously surrogacy pretty much stopped during COVID, because no one could sign any contracts or get anything started. But I do know that all the donors are screened medically, psychologically. They have all testing done. They discuss things like, things like, have they fallen pregnant before? If they have, was it a cesarean? Ages of parents, siblings, and things like that. So in terms of choosing a package, obviously it also comes down to cost, what you can afford. You'll find that in Georgia, all packages are in US dollars. So you do need to keep that in mind, and all payments are made, the majority of payments are all made in US dollars as well. So what to look for when choosing a clinic or an agency? Number one, I think, in my opinion, I don't know, Anita, if you'll agree with me or not, but I think success rates and also established is incredibly important. There are 3 or 4 main reputable clinics, agencies in Tbilisi. I won't name them. And people go to them all for different reasons. They might click with a certain coordinator better. They might like one of the packages better. The packages are all very similar across the board. Prices can fluctuate though between, $5,000 and $10,000. Sometimes even more. You might be paying agency fees on top, and you may not be realising that. Some of them use different hospitals. And so I think for me,
they might have add-ons as well.
Correct.
Within those packages. Can I also butt in and say that these they all are run by another, so all the agencies all design all their paperwork and all their contracts pretty much by, is it the Liz, you'll know, the Justice House, or
Correct.
it all comes from a higher power,
It is.
which is like their Justice House, which all these
So their Justice House is like the equivalent of your local government, or your
local
state government,
yes.
or your federal government.
Yeah. So the Justice House is basically who dictates how all their contracts have to be laid out. So basically us internationals could go around to all these agencies and ask for the contract, the first sales contract, and then we've got the the other contracts, or the layers of
the contracts all look the same.
Yeah, they all do, but in the contracts they might have some little fine changes.
Correct.
Terms and conditions basically.
Yeah.
And there could be a little add-on here, and they're allowed to have these add-ons within reason, and the structure of the costs.
Yes.
And all the payments have to all be the same, pretty much, because it's all outlined by their Justice House.
Yes. So and you made a really valid point, and one of the things that you've just mentioned about the payments all need to be matched up legally. You need to keep receipts of everything, because once the end of the process is finished and you are applying for a passport and citizenship and things like that, your government from wherever you are need to see that everything is legal. And one of the great things that I know that we both found when we were in Georgia was that everything was, they crossed their T's and dotted their I's. It was so thorough in terms of all the legalities. Our names were on the birth certificate from day dot. And, I think we both had, considering we were both there during COVID, we both had excellent experience with getting all that paperwork done with the lawyers and with the Justice House, with the help of our coordinators, of course, which was fantastic. So someone just tried to ring me. I have absolutely no idea who that was, but, that's what happens when you're in the middle of a podcast.
Liz, you broke the rules.
Oh, look,
we were supposed to have silent phones.
I know. I don't know who was trying to call. So that's one of the things. So when you're looking, Anita, what were your things when looking for an agency or a clinic?
Obviously reputation.
Yeah.
Making sure that other people have heard of this place.
Yeah.
So I ticked that box when I was aligning myself with Liz.
And we do get a lot of people asking us privately, have you heard of this agency or this clinic? And there's a lot more popping up now that we have never heard of.
Yes. I think that's, although how many, when you ask yourself how many positive pregnancies have they had, it could just be that they are smaller, but they're just not known internationally. Like these might be people who are from France or from other parts of the world, because these clinics that we go to might also be more popular for people from the UK and Australia and America.
Correct.
Because they also market towards this part of the world.
Yeah.
Whereas I know that a couple of the other clinics that are popping up now are busy marketing in Asia, France, and those sides of the world as well.
You are correct, but I think longevity of how long a clinic has been operating.
Correct.
And they need to be very transparent with you from the start. Well, how long have you been operating? How long? I do know of a newer clinic that just opened, which was actually formed by people that worked at a whole lot of other clinics and all joined together to start a new clinic. Now, we know that because we're in know.
Yes.
But, a lot of people may not know that.
No.
And in that case, well then, that's great. Good luck to them, because we know that they're experienced medical professionals. However, there were some clinics that I had contacted before I signed with who we signed with that, had one surrogate on the books, and I couldn't find not one review of them online. That is a warning sign for me.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how great the package might be, I need to find somebody, some sort of review or someone I can reach out to say, hey, have you used so-and-so, and what can you tell me about it?
Another thing was, obviously, I I had a great rapport with my coordinator, who would then become my power of attorney. So
Yes.
one thing that happens is your coordinator over there, a lot of people ask, oh, what is a power of attorney? And it's that they have to become the legal person acting on your behalf while you undergo the surrogacy journey, right? So you have to sign that contract. There is no other way around it.
Well, there is. You don't have to sign it. I mean, if you lived in Georgia, or if you lived...
You have to be a permanent resident, though.
I think, yeah.
And I don't know any Australian who can make themselves a permanent resident.
Oh, no, you can't.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you're from other countries and you are able to be in Georgia, I think within a certain amount of time, I don't believe that
maybe French or Germans
you have to sign that power of attorney document. In our case, for example, it was, I mean, our surrogate was hospitalised a couple of times during the pregnancy, and obviously the power of attorney was able to make those decisions that, yes, she needs to go to the hospital, and yes, this is how long she needs to stay in for, because with the time difference and things like that, I mean, I trusted her inexplicably to make those right decisions for us, which she did.
Yeah, and because of the time zone, you've got to remember, like, we could be asleep in bed and this could be happening.
Correct.
And your power of attorney is like, oh, okay, tick, 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 let's do this. And then you find out by email the next day, and these are the costs incurred, and these are the decisions that were made, and this was all just through the doctors, and the power of attorney is acting on your behalf. But the communication line is always there. And if it can be done beforehand, but if in an emergency, they need to be there and make those decisions during the pregnancy. So you need to, when you are choosing a clinic, bear this in mind and know that the person who is going to be your coordinator and become your right-hand person, your power of attorney throughout the whole process, you need to have a trusting relationship with them and feel comfortable, confident, secure with them throughout the whole process.
Yeah. And even though myself, you and I, we both were with the same clinic, we actually had different coordinators.
We did, yeah.
And from my experience, my coordinator was flawless. I was able to contact her at any time of day or night if I needed to via WhatsApp, including the actual doctors as well, and get a report or find out what was happening or whatever it might be every time she needed to go and have a checkup or whatever. And I know you had the same experience as I did, so we were both really fortunate, and we felt like we both knew each other's coordinators so well, but we didn't actually meet each other's coordinators until we were in Tbilisi. So that it was quite funny. So I think, choosing a clinic, it is a personal decision, but I think ultimately both of our advice is that you need to go with your gut, you need to go with someone reputable, and you need to research, talk to people.
And can I just say one thing? So I didn't choose Chichava. I didn't choose my agency or clinic because of Liz, and Liz didn't choose them either. We're both on quite different timelines, and we were both found our way to Georgia separately, but we were there.
And I had researched every other clinic and had Skype calls with almost every other agency.
We could have ended up with different, quite different clinics. You know, we might have ended up both in Georgia, but we just sort of came together. We both had different coordinators. I had a different plan to Liz, completely different. But we both just aligned, and it was more that we found each other through social media, and we're like, oh, have you done it? Oh, yes, I'm right behind you. And, you know. Yeah,
so Anita ended up being, so Anita's daughter was due mid-September, or just after mid-September.
Yes.
And we were told that our twins were going to be born roughly mid to late November.
Actually, Annabelle, her official date of birth was around 6th or 10th of October.
Oh, okay.
I think it was 4th of October or something.
So they told us, I think initially it was the 23rd of November that the girls were going to be born. And then, of course, what ended up happening, which we expected closer to the time, was twins always come early.
Yes.
And so the twins ended up being born on October 20.
Mm-hmm.
And Annabelle was born on September
25th.
Yep. And the twins came at 30 34 and 2. And Annabelle was what, 39?
Yeah, 38 turning to 39
Yeah.
weeks, because, so
Yeah.
we all sort of...
And they ended up being born in different hospitals after all that as well.
Yes.
So Annabelle was born at Chichava, and
Yeah.
the twins were born at Gordashori because that's a specialist hospital that has the NICU unit.
Yes.
So we were hoping that they would hang on for a couple more weeks to be born at Chichava, but that wasn't to be. But that's another episode.
That's a whole nother episode.
You
have to wait. Yes.
3 episodes of all that drama.
Yes.
But let's just talk very quickly about finding the surrogate or choosing the surrogate. So we were presented, I think, with a couple from memory.
Usually 2.
Yeah, I think it was
usually
2.
2.
But our coordinator said, Liz, I think you guys really need to go with this one. She's perfect for you. All the tests were wonderful. She was a really wonderful person.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you weren't trying for twins?
No.
And was your surrogate originally, any of your surrogates that you were chosen, were presented with, I should say, were they capable of carrying twins at the time?
Yes, so I believe that the reason why the coordinator suggested our surrogate was she was quite open to carrying twins.
Okay.
Medically, she was very fit and healthy to be able to carry twins. And she's tiny. She'd be a size 6 or a size 8, and I just couldn't believe it. Like,
I know,
this woman was a powerhouse. She gave natural birth to my children.
Yes.
And just bounced back and looked like she'd never given birth, 2 weeks later. But our coordinator just felt that she really was the right fit for us, and she was the perfect fit for us. She didn't do a thing wrong. She, as you know, we had a wonderful relationship right throughout from, even the first failed transfer through to... And, it was really perfect.
And often after they do the first transfer, they do contemplate using a different surrogate. That was a question, whether they implant again with another one.
Yeah.
But you went with the same...
We did, because we had been told by the doctors our surrogate was a little bit older than what some people choose for surrogates. She was 31 at the time. Yeah. And we were just told, because she'd already had a child who was 11 at the time, that her body would need to get used to the medication, the pre-medication before transfer. And so I was more than happy to wait to go again with her if she was okay, which she was. And she kept apologising when the first transfer failed, and I was like, you've got nothing to be apologising for.
Yeah.
But as I said, the most wonderful, caring woman. I couldn't ask for anyone better to have carried my girls, and she looked after them so well. And for you guys, what was the reason? How did you come?
I had 2. I was presented with 2 cases, and they really said, it's up to you. Both are fantastic. They let me choose, and I was drawn to, obviously, when I looked at both of them, I just was drawn to the one lady. I don't know, maybe it was a detail in her name or the detail in her face that that I picked. I'm funny like that, And I did consider both of them, but I was just connected. It was a connection, and I went with it. And I've just always had these small connections about her in life, and I felt connected.
Isn't it amazing?
To the picture, to the name, to everything about her. There's little things about her that I connect the dots with in life. Just the other day, I don't want to say her name, I don't want to say little things like that. Just the other day, I was walking through the airport, and what are those little teddies I told you about, and they have the names on them.
The beanie bears.
They're like those beanie bears, and every single one of them's got a name.
Okay.
And every time I try and pick it up, it has a date of birth on it. I'm like, no, not that one, because it's not the same date of birth as, I'm always looking for the date of birth of Annabelle's.
Yeah.
Because I want to find her one, and I can never find, one day I'll have to go online.
I want to find these bears.
Are they, I'm sure somebody's going to know the name of what I'm...
Well, hopefully one of our listeners will be able to
They're
message
those,
us and
like-
tell us what these bears are,
Yeah.
because I have absolutely no
Are they,
idea.
I don't know, 4-letter name of a little
Let's just call it bear.
bear, right? A beanie bear. They're like these little beanie bear, cute little unicorn things.
Okay,
Anyway.
get off the bears.
All right, anyway, I picked it up, and you wouldn't believe it. It had her name on it. This is like nearly 2 years later, and it's the first one I picked up. I'm like, it's just, I'm always connected. We are always connected in a way. It doesn't matter. I find a way.
And look, even now, 20 months on from the girls being born, I know that Anita and I, we both still have regular contact with our surrogate. She's part of our journey. She's part of our family. She's part of our life for the rest of our lives. Because what these women do, and, women in Georgia, they choose to do surrogacy for numerous reasons. And look, no judgment. Everyone has different choices in life. But the wage in Georgia is very low. It's $200 US a month. And, this can set them up, for the next 5 or 10 years and enable them to perhaps buy a small apartment or better educate themselves or better educate their children. And we know a lot of people don't agree with that, but ultimately it's a win-win for everybody. And, we both had wonderful surrogates. I know some people don't have the fantastic journeys that we did, but for us, it was beyond what we could have expected, and especially having that bond, as Anita has said, it is something that is really, truly, truly special.
I just feel connected.
Yeah. And there's yeah, absolutely. And of course we do, because these are the women that gave our children life, and these are the women that, cared enough and selflessly put themselves through this because they wanted us to become mothers. And I know we both heard that from our surrogates privately, that this was a pleasure, and this is, as mothers already themselves, they wanted to be able to give the gift of motherhood to unlucky people like us. And you know what? We're not unlucky anymore. We really are the luckiest women in the world.
Yeah. When I take myself back, and this is a really touching subject, but I know there are people, there is maybe hopefully one person that is going to listen to this podcast, maybe a few more. But when I take myself back to when I was waiting to become a mum, because there are so many people that, just want to hear what Liz and Anita, or, what it was like for us. Because we have to remember, we spent years trying to get to this stage, to today. And there were times when we thought it was never going to happen for us.
You always hold out hope, but you become so disappointed year after year, month after month, that it only becomes this pipe dream. And even now, you got to pinch yourself and be like, I'm mummy.
Yeah, and I wake up in the morning, and there is not a day that I am, I have I don't know, like, I'm beaming with a smile every day, because nothing can ever make me, have a bad day. Never can I have a bad day. Maybe I'm tired from work, but when I come home and see my daughter...
Yeah, this has completely changed us both as people, and I know, you've seen the journey that I've gone on personally over the last 18 months, especially, and I've gone from someone who's been incredibly career-driven, no patience.
I think we both have
quite hard in business, and I've now gone to. I've got all the patience in the world. I don't get angry anymore. I don't snap. I'm just like, yep, whatever. Because after the journey that we have gone through,
life is
it's completely different. And I know a lot of people say that post-COVID anyway. But going through surrogacy is something that no one will ever understand unless you have been through it yourself. And with that, we're signing off for another episode, and we look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.